It was the day before Christmas Eve and Thomas the Tank Engine was doing his job.
When he got back to the sheds that evening, the workman took off his snowplow.
Thomas, you're just in time to hear our bedtime story.
Oh, I love the Polar Express. Me too. You guys are not the only ones.
Alright, let's everyone get some shut-eye. We have a big day tomorrow, and we're really excited, because tomorrow, we know, is Christmas Eve.
If that steamy were real, then maybe I will scrap it and make into a diesel, and then it will be a diesel Christmas.
It was Christmas Eve at last, and all the engines were doing their jobs joyfully.
Later that evening, Sir Topham Hatt came to the sheds. Now, one of you engines is going to take the children to the airport tonight. They are to travel to the North Pole to give these letters to Santa for the first gift of Christmas. And that engine I choose is Thomas.
I would love to, sir. I love taking children.
Gordon and James were jealous. Soon, Thomas was at Farquhar Station picking up his passengers as Percy passed in carrying presents and parcels and food for the Christmas party tomorrow at Ulfstead Castle.
Soon, Thomas was off through the snowing Christmas Eve night. I sure hope Santa Claus will come and put some toys in my stocking, he thought.
While Diesel was doing his devious plan. With one of these rails gone, that polar extension will probably be derailed. That will work. That's steamy.
The snow had covered the points of the tracks, and Thomas and his crew were going the wrong way.
It was too late.
The driver and fireman got out to check and started digging the snow away. "Someone stole one of the rails, Thomas," said his driver. "Oh, I'll never get the children to the airport." Harold the helicopter was called, and he took off through the blizzard and searched for Thomas and the children so he could take to the airport. The blizzard stopped, but Thomas and his crew were left in the cold, cold snow. "I guess we'll have to wait till spring comes." Then Thomas heard a whistle he never heard before. Then, out of the mist, the snowy mist, came a big black engine pulling along passenger coaches. "Hello," said the engine. "Who are you?" Thomas had never seen an engine like that before. He was speechless. "Don't be afraid," laughed the engine. "I'm a friend, see?" Thomas, who was still speechless, kindly said, "My name is Thomas the Tank Engine. And who are you, and where are you going?" "Why, to the North Pole, of course," said the engine. "I am the Polar Express." Thomas looked around the engine, even through the falling snow. He saw how big and large the engine was. There his number was 1225. And then Thomas saw his name on his tender. "You're the engine from the book that Percy's driver read to us last night." "And your book is by the Reverend W. Audrey." "Right you are. And I'm really glad you read my book." "That's wonderful." "I sure did. By the way, what's a little blue tank engine like you, along with some coaches, doing buried in the deep snow? Are you stuck?" "Someone stole one of the rails that I was running on, and then I came off during the snowstorm. I couldn't see where I was going. I was supposed to take these children to the airport to deliver their letters to Santa Claus." "Well, you don't have to worry, kid. Since I'm a magic train, I will help you. I'm taking some children to the North Pole, and I can take yours to the North Pole, too." "Why, thank you very much. And I know what happens in the story, because you're a magic train." So the children got off of Annie and Clarabelle.
All aboard! Called the conductor.
When they all got on board, the blizzard finally stopped and the Polar Express blew his whistle one last time and sped away. Merry Christmas, Thomas! Merry Christmas to you too, Polar Express! Thomas called back. And thank you! Soon at last, Harold the helicopter finally found Thomas buried in the deep, deep snow with his coaches. The wind blew the snow off of Thomas, and Terrence the tractor came along, dug the snow away. Then lifted Thomas back on the tracks. And Percy and Emily, who came along, dragged Thomas and Annie and Clarabelle back home to Tidmouth Sheds. Thomas told them what had happened that night earlier. Soon, a very sleepy Thomas was back home. After he had his snowplow removed, he and Percy heard a whistle that Thomas had already heard before. And there, in the dark, snowy night, was the Polar Express, disappearing in the Christmas Eve night. When the engines awoke on Christmas morning, they saw Christmas presents right outside of their sheds. A teddy bear for Emily. A new megaphone for Percy to put over his whistle in case everyone needs to hear his whistle when he's trying to get his attention. New red paint for James. A new whistle for Gordon. New green paint for Henry. An oil can for Edward. And for Thomas, a new silver sleigh bell. There was also a note that says, "Dear Thomas, I want to thank you for letting me help you take your passengers to the North Pole last night. As a thank you, Santa left me one of his sleigh bells to give you. Listen to it ring, and Merry Christmas. Love, the Polar Express." The driver then rang the bell. That sounded like Toby's bell. Thomas and the others agreed. This beautiful sound they heard on Christmas Day. And everyone was grateful for what they had got on this wonderful, splendid, magnificent Christmas Day. And everyone was really, really, really happy. Including Bulstrode with his new golden anchor. But what Diesel got was an angry note.
Dear Diesel, because of your devious deeds, you've been a very naughty engine by taking one of the rails away for the Polar Express to crash, but having Thomas crash instead. So, you get nothing for Christmas. I hope that you'll behave next year. Signed, Santa Claus.
What? Nothing?
It serves you right, Diesel.
Humbug!
Thomas the Tank Engine and his friends will never forget this Christmas on the island of Sodor.
Sometimes we digress, but that can only happen